public comment card, last call. And that we're at the 6 o'clock hour. We'll call this meeting to order. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and have a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
17 present with 1 absent, and that would be Member Bryant.
Next up is the approval of the November 9th, 2023 minutes. Is there a motion? Ms. Daly, Ms. Williams. Any comments, corrections, concerns? Seeing none, roll call. Daly and Williams.
Member Blair? Aye. Member Coates? Aye. Member Daly?
Aye.
Member Duncan?
Aye.
Member Elsasser? Aye. Member Groves Allison?
Aye.
Member Hare? Aye. Member Kelch? Aye. Member Phelan?
Aye.
Member Renault? Aye. Member Ricker?
Aye.
Member Rosenbaum? Aye. Member Rulin? Aye. Member Salzer?
Aye.
Member Williams? Aye. Member Windisch? And Member Dillon?
Aye.
17 ayes. Next would be proclamations and presentations.
We're going to do these a little out of order just for some timing of people to get here. But first up, we would like to very recognizable face in the community, Sharon Williams, and if H would please come up on his retirement from At Issue.
Okay, it's on. Okay, whereas Peoria County wishes to recognize H. Wayne Wilson on his retirement from hosting At Issue on WTVP, and whereas Wilson has been involved in news programming since 1966 and has since been hailed as a journalist, historian, filmmaker, news interviewer, reporter, and debate moderator. And whereas Wilson has served as president of the Illinois News Broadcasters Association and currently serves as the president of the INBA Foundation, raising funds for scholarships given to students seeking a career in electronic journalism. And whereas H. Wayne Wilson created the public affairs show At Issue in 1988, finding his niche in freelance journalism at WTVP after previously working at WMBD, WCBU, and WHOI. And Whereas At Issue was known to go in depth to break down complex issues affecting Central Illinois, including topics like education, government, environment, health, transportation, the economy, social issues, and more. Now therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize and thank H. Wayne Wilson for his public service and congratulate him on his 35 years of At Issue, dated this 14th day of December, AD 2023, signed Peoria County Board Chairman James Dillon and Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk. Congratulations. Go ahead, Nick.
Somebody did some homework. I had a long career, I guess. Thank you to Chair Dillon, to Vice Chair Williams, to Scott. And I want to make special note of the staff at Peoria County, because one of the things that I really appreciate at the county and in city and other bodies is the cooperation I was always extended by the county in trying to find issues where I wanted people to come on the program. So Scott, and please extend to your staff my appreciation for that. I want to also make special mention that in the past, I have had occasion to cover the county, and I think Phil Salzer has been on the county board ever since I started in Peoria. So thank you, Phil. Are you the senior member? Brian, are you? Brian is? Okay, then Brian too. One final note. I won't fill a half hour. It's rare that an individual gets an opportunity to be given a half hour, get to choose the topic, get to select the guest, and perform a half hour talk show without interference from my superiors. I had that opportunity for 35 years, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Next would be a proclamation recognizing
I was just going to comment that H. Wayne truly covered some very great issues for our community and did a tremendous job and so forth. And I couldn't tell whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. I really couldn't.
Next is a proclamation recognizing Human Resource Generalist Karen O'Neill on her 27 years of service to Peoria County.
I'm going to have to get through this without crying because we are just going to miss the bundle of joy that is Karen and just the joy and work ethic and everything that she has brought to Peoria County. So, yeah, okay, we're going to do this. Whereas Peoria County wishes to recognize Karen O'Neill on the occasion of her upcoming retirement from Peoria County on January 2nd, 2024. And whereas Karen O'Neill began her service to Peoria County as the Health Benefits Coordinator in 1996 and has remained in various human resources positions throughout her 27 years at Peoria County. And whereas Karen O'Neill's commitment to her profession is evidenced by her leadership and dedication on multiple projects, most recently the implementation of the new Finance and Human Resources system over the course of 2 years. But she has also been instrumental on the Hay Committee, creating Peoria County's first new employee orientation program, and in drafting workplace violence, dress code, and sexual harassment policies. And whereas Karen O'Neill earned her designation as an International Public Management Association for Human Resources Certified Professional designation in 2004, and served as the Greater Peoria Chapter President from 2016 to 2018. And whereas Karen O'Neill has always been an involved and active team member, participating on the Spirit and later Team Peoria County Committee, helping out at employee events for United Way, participating on the health benefits and safety and training committees, and generally always willing to help out where needed. And whereas Karen O'Neill is most well known for her commitment to the American Red Cross, Central Illinois chapter, where she has volunteered since July 28, 2014. And whereas Karen O'Neill has organized more than 50 blood drives at Peoria County in her tenure, which has helped save more than 4,000 lives over the years. And whereas, in addition to planning the event logistics and scheduling donors, she is known for going above and beyond to thank staff for donating blood with swag, homemade treats, and her coveted ice cream-based mochas. And whereas Karen O'Neill's joyful and optimistic attitude that she brought to the courthouse will be missed by all who work with her. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize and thank Human Resources Generalist Karen O'Neill for her dedicated public service, dated this 14th day of December, 2023. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness. Well, I do want to say thank you, and I promise this won't be long. Scott was like, please keep it to 3 sentences, Karen. He didn't say it like that. That's how I heard it, though. So I just want to thank Scott, Shauna, and Angela for their exceptional leadership, because it's been quite the journey over this 27 years, and you can't do that without having great leadership. And I also see my husband over here filming me, and so I want to thank Doug for being such great support, and Vicki, my coworker, the other HR generalist. Thank you, Vicki, for tolerating me for 27 years. And I also just wanted to make a little comment about the Red Cross. I feel like the county and the Red Cross literally helped raise my kids and their character. Brooke is here tonight. Thank you, Brooke. I do have 2 other daughters here too. Brooke currently works for the sheriff's office, but I don't think it was easy to be a child of me, because like Brooke and all my kids, they had to volunteer at the Red Cross. They started giving blood at the age of 16, and so I know that wasn't an easy task. So I want to add on here, I wanted to challenge all of you, if you have not donated blood, to try it just one time. I'm hoping it might get me in heaven one day, and if you can save a life, it might help you get into heaven too. So I'll close on that. Thank you.
Next up, it was not on the proclamation, but Coach Thornton, if you could please come forward. So one of the joys of being chair was this one's personal for me. So most of you, if you don't know Coach Thornton, you've missed out on meeting one of the most fantastic human beings that you'll ever meet. Tim could be anywhere in the world, and he's one of the most selfless people for what he's done for the city of Peoria and Peoria High, and at Woodruff before that. I've had the pleasure of knowing Tim for over 20 years when we played sports together, and I was a center, and Timmy, and I was much smaller than this. Tim was about that size, and he lined up over in front of me, and he had never done that before in a game. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be quite the day. And we've been friends ever since from playing sports. But Tim has given up a lot, and his family has given up a lot. Nobody realizes what these coaches at these schools do of calling kids at night, keeping them on the straight and narrow, making sure when there's problems, getting around their family. When kids need something to eat, Timmy's the first one around making phone calls. I know kids that have lost their homes and don't have mattresses. Timmy is the first one out there trying to get a mattress for these kids. And like I said, he's one of the most selfless people. And when he told me, I was really sad that he was leaving Peoria, but I know that his next adventure for his family is huge, and the growth. And Timmy will always be part of Peoria's history, especially with those state championships that you brought home and the players that he's put in the NFL. And if you ask any of his players, you know, their family, he's put more kids in college that probably never even thought that they could go to college and set them there. So when Timmy told me 2 weeks ago, and he's leaving here in January, that he was leaving, I asked him if he could come here, because of his character, and I wanted to give him a proclamation, and it's one small thing I can do, and I wish I could do a lot more for you, but this is how I wanted to repay you and read the proclamation. Whereas Peoria County wishes to honor Tim Thornton for his accomplishments and dedication to the Peoria High football team as its head coach for the last 14 years and as coach at Woodruff High School for 6 years. And whereas Coach Thornton leaves a legacy of turning the Peoria Lions into a powerhouse with multiple record-setting high-scoring games in 2016, a second-place finish at state in 2022, and a Class 5A state championship title in 2016. Whereas numerous former players have been recruited over his tenure to play college-level football, and 3 went on to join the NFL. Coach Thornton set about building not only the football program, but building up the players as individuals. Whereas he worked to build community with his team and supports them on and off the field. And whereas Coach Thornton created a culture of trust and helped create opportunities for students throughout athletics they may not have otherwise. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize Coach Thornton for his dedication to his student athletes and for his achievements in local high school football athletic history. And it's just much more than what he did for sports. And love you, buddy, and I'm going to miss you.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you all. Definitely need to thank my wife and my family. Like Mr. Dillon said, they've given up a bunch so that we could do what we did at Peoria High. And my wife was always there for us, making sure that we could even afford to do this kind of thing. And I'm blessed for the opportunity I have now to go kind of take care of them a little bit. And our guys are still going to be in good hands. They had interviews for that job today, so I know they've got some qualified applicants for that, and they're going to care about the kids in the same fashion that we did, and just hopefully keep it rolling. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Member Alcester.
I just wanted to say that most people like defensive struggles, but watching them play and win 60 to 57 is about as exciting as you can get.
Member Salzer.
Mr. Chairman, I worked for 4 of the head coaches at Peoria High School, and they're all very, very successful. And Tim, coming along, has been one of the most successful in the history of Peoria High School, which is the oldest public high school in the state of Illinois. And the last head coach I worked for, he and I both went to a lot of ball games together. And we agreed that one thing about Tim, he had more control of many of the athletes that we had. And Tim did a wonderful job behind the scene with athletes. You didn't hear of his team members having many criminal problems or any criminal problems that I know of. And he did a wonderful job. And many of these athletes also would straighten out problems there at Peoria High School, because Lord knows every high school, I don't care if some administrator says, oh, we don't have problems, he's lying to you, because there's terrible problems in many of the high schools. But anyway, Tim, many of us thought would probably leave sooner than he is. I'm sorry that he's leaving, because I know what an impact he's had on that school and so forth. But anyway, I talked to a doctor recently. In fact, he noted, he says, I know where Tim's going there to coach football, and he says that he'll really get that program turned around. And I know we'll see in the future, maybe nationally, some of his success and so forth, and I wish him that success. But anyway, Tim truly is a winner.
Next would be a proclamation recognizing Peoria Heights VFW Post 2602.
All right. I have so many things, great things that I could tell you about the VFW in Peoria Heights, but they're much more organized in this proclamation. So you'll hear from me as I read this. One thing I will tell you about this proclamation is we had to consolidate. We actually had to shrink it down. And when I go through this list, you're going to hear about all the amazing things that the VFW does in the community, not just in Peoria Heights, where they're located. So this was an easy choice. I'm very happy to present them with this proclamation tonight. Whereas Peoria County wishes to recognize the members of the Lawrence J. Cross Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2602 in Peoria Heights for their extensive service to the community and local veterans since their founding in 1954. And whereas VFW Post 2602 supports veterans through a variety of services, including working with the Freedom Paws Service Dogs Foundation to connect veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder with a service animal and donating $500 each month toward Greater Peoria Honor Flights. And whereas they are known for raising and donating funds for individual veteran needs, such as when they donated a car and maintenance for 1 year to a veteran who was undergoing cancer treatment. And whereas VFW Post 2602 are regular volunteers for Springdale Cemetery, cleaning the gravestones of the many veterans interred there. And whereas members are actively involved in the lives of community youth, providing an annual scholarship given to a Peoria Heights school senior, sponsoring multiple girls softball teams and offering scholarships, hosting the USA Softball B Division Field of Dreams tournament and donating championship rings, sponsoring a local Boy Scout troop, and providing the Peoria Heights High School football team pregame meals. And whereas VFW Post 2602 are known for their entertaining fundraisers such as a men's bikini car wash and annual quarter auction. And whereas they are equally well known for their generosity, having donated tens of thousands of dollars over the years to local youth softball groups, the Peoria Heights Alumni Association, and Ronald McDonald House, just to name a few, and are on the top 5 most charitable giving VFW organizations in the state of Illinois. And whereas members commit to giving their time to support the larger organization, with 3 officers serving at the district level, helping oversee 14 VFW posts. And whereas VFW Post 2602 is a place to be for an amazing food and community atmosphere, as well as to view the wall of art on display from the 22 VA, a group of veteran artists that aim to help other veterans express themselves through visual and creative arts. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize the veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2602 for their members' service, their continued commitment to helping veterans, and all the work they have done in the community. Dated the 14th day, December 2023, signed James C. Dillon, Rachel Parker.
As the commander of the post, I'd like to thank the members of the board for giving us this letter. I don't do the work, it's my other officers and members that do it. I'm also one of the officers, I'm over the district as well. I just want to thank you guys for recognizing us. Please come down. All the money we make from our raffle, excuse me, our gaming, that's all the money we put back into the community. So the more we make, the more we put out. So I just want to thank you guys, I appreciate it. You guys have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm Michael Reagan. I know a few of you in here. Jennifer H., last time I get to share a mic with you, but really appreciate you. Congratulations. I'm one of the groups that calls 2602 home. I'm one of the members of 22 VA, 22 veteran artists. We use art therapy to help veterans get their stories out. Our 9th annual show is going on right now at the Peoria Public Library right up the street. Saturday at 1 p.m. we're actually going to be giving tours, but if anybody would like a personal tour, I'd be happy to give you one also. It'll be going through the end of the month. We usually do November and December every year because holidays are hardest on veterans. We also do a Patriot Plunge on the 22nd of every month at East Peoria Boat Club. Anyone wants to go jump in the river with me? I've been doing that for a year. And the newest art gallery in town is Peoria Heights VFW 2602. The whole back is an art gallery now, so come up for a Taco Tuesday. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
I got one more thing real quick. We did just start, at the end of this month, we're doing a PTS support group. And it's not just for the vets, it's for the first responders in the entire area as well. That's not in the letter, but we just got our first meeting set up. It's on our Facebook page. If anyone knows anybody that may need a support group, please send them our way. Thank you.
Jimmy, could we have each one of them introduced, please?
I'm Chad Bailey. I'm the commander of Post 2602, also the commander of District 9. I actually live in Mackinac. I don't live in this community, but I do enjoy helping this community as well as any other community. So thank you.
My name's Eric Thurman. I am the quartermaster at the VFW 2602. I'm also District 9 quartermaster, and I live in Havana, so I have a commute quite a bit to be dedicated to the local community.
I'm Henry Maston from Spring Bay, but I help these guys out whenever you need it.
David Johnson, I'm the senior vice commander. At least I'm a resident of Peoria County. I live in Peoria Heights. I've been a Peoria boy in Peoria area all my life. So thank you for this this honor you're bestowing upon us.
Randy Prunty, I live in Spring Bay. I'm the commander of the Navy Club in Peoria Heights, a Vietnam veteran. I've been at a couple of events that H. Wayne was there, and I appreciate everything that's being done here today, and this is the best VFW post in the States.
Michael Reagan, I'll keep it short, from 22 VA. I was a Navy recruiter from 1997 to 2002. I spent 20 years in the military. Peoria Heights was my favorite place to be a recruiter, and I really searched a bit before I decided to call it home for 22 VA. It's by far the best VFW I've been to. Thanks.
Member Alsasser.
I just wanted to say to you gentlemen, God bless all of you for serving our country. We really do appreciate it. And I did want to ask, is it Mr. Reagan? Is that his last name? When can you send us an update on when the plunges are going to be? Because I'd like to do that. The plunges into. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So it's that time of year, some service award pins. Kathy Urban, would you please come up? So it's my pleasure. It's hard to believe 25 years at the county. I've been around for probably 18 of those now. So there's no finer planning, and Paul can attest now as the current chair, no finer team than Kathy and Andrew. And what you've done for that department is amazing. And it is my honor to give you your 25-year pin.
Thank you very much.
Come on.
25 years does go by very quickly, much more quickly than you would imagine. It does seem like yesterday when I first started. But I would like to thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you to Scott and the board for the opportunities. And especially thank you to our wonderful team here at Peoria County. It's been a privilege to work with them over these years. Thanks.
Member Ruin.
As somebody who's been in and out of the zoning office probably more times than most board members, I have the pleasure of having done business in that office for about 35 years. And so I've known an awful lot of zoning directors. And I just want to say, maybe a little shorter in stature, but she stands head and shoulders over all of them. So, Kathy, thank you. Job well done.
And now the debate will be who started sooner. But Brian, speaking of time flying, 25 years on the board.
Well, sometimes I have to pinch myself to remind myself that I'm even still here after that long. But it's just, I just love it so much that I can't leave. I guess, is that a problem? But I really do appreciate this, working with everybody, and I love Peoria County. And one thing that I always try to do everywhere I go is to try to sell Peoria County, because we have so many young people that are, oh, I'm going to Nashville, as soon as they get out of college. And so I consider myself a salesman for this area too. So, and that's a privilege.
And so I think it took you about 20 years to get to where Mr. Renault is sitting for his 5-year pin. And that is the amount of turnover that we've had on the board here lately, because it did take forever to remember to move around the horseshoe. But Mr. Renault, congratulations. It seems like yesterday, 5 years.
That is amazing. It's been 5 years. Although when I look back at it, a lot has happened in those 5 years. A lot of stuff happened as soon as I got elected, when we lost 3 of our county board members. Well, not members, but 3 of our elected officials immediately. So that puts into perspective how life can turn on you so quick. But I do appreciate all of the friendships that I've made and collaborating with the different board members, the different departments. I've learned a lot over the 5 years, and I plan on learning a lot more. So thank you.
So the next would be, and he's probably hoping, please don't call on me, Mr. Windish, 5 years around the horseshoe. Also goes by very quick, and appreciate everything that all these board members have brought to the table. So Matthew, please come forward.
Yeah, it seems like that's what I was just sitting here thinking about when you were talking about that. It took 25 years to get to there, and I remember this seems like it wasn't that long ago, sitting over here with Rob in the corner about this time of year, a year out. But there's been a lot of ups and downs, but as a whole, it's been fun getting to know everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next is citizens' remarks, and I believe we have one that was turned in.
One, would Cassie please come forward with Peoria Proud? Oh, there you are.
You didn't attempt the last name this time?
Lucchese?
Yeah, Lucchese.
Lucchese.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the board. Thank you all so much for having us here. My name is Cassie Lucchese, she and her pronouns. I am the president of Peoria Proud and honored to be able to stand in front of you all tonight. So thank you all for having me. This is Rin, my board member, and they are super supportive. So, in March of 2023, Peoria Proud and the other LGBTQ representatives addressed this board to shed light on the exclusions allowed in the healthcare that was being offered to Peoria County employees. At that time, we wrote a letter of advocacy that included multiple organizations who supported that change. We began working with your Chief Officer of Diversity, Andre Allen, to assert the needed changes to the plan for the upcoming year. Earlier in the same year, in January of 2023, state legislature passed into law that all plans must include gender-affirming and reproductive rights protections within their healthcare plans, and passed additional protections for healthcare providers within the state to uphold this. We are glad to be here once again in 2023 to support your vote tonight, hopefully, on the amended healthcare plan that is both state compliant and employee and family affirming. We thank you for your diligent efforts to protect the families of those who are employed here at the county. The Illinois Department of Insurance, as well as the Illinois Department of Human Rights, affirms that people, of all people, have access to health care that can meet their individual needs and that is free from discrimination. It is the role of the state and local governments to ensure that this is implemented equitably, so that the rights of Illinois citizens are upheld and protected, and that Illinois remain a safe state for all of its citizens to access necessary services. What is done now will not only bring compliance with state law, but will also shape justice and equity going forward. According to a 2021 study completed by the National Center for Progress, evidence reveals that transgender people suffer from more chronic health conditions and experience higher rates of health problems related to HIV/AIDS, substance use, mental health, sexual and physical violence, as well as a higher prevalence and earlier onset of disabilities that can also lead to health issues. In addition to these health disparities, transgender people also face unique challenges in their ability to access health insurance and receive adequate care. Columbia University Department of Pediatrics cited that the importance of having gender-affirming care and age-appropriate medical care available to families, medically and psychiatrically supervised care for children and families allows for safe gender exploration without surgery or irreversible hormone therapy, and that is holistic health care for the entire family. It reduces stress and anxiety for all. Transgender and non-binary children and adolescents cited higher thoughts of suicide than their cisgender peers at ages as early as 8 years old. This inclusionary care will literally save lives. The healthcare plan that you approve will more inclusively support your employees, their families, and address inequities in healthcare provisions that desperately impact children, youth, women, transgender individuals, and people of color. The intersectionality amongst the structural determinants of health and minority populations is well defined, and offering a comprehensive health plan to your employees is the first step in removing these barriers. Thank you so much for your time this evening, and for prioritizing the health and well-being of the people who work for the County of Peoria. Thank you.
Next would be the consent agenda.
Is there a motion? Ms. Daly, Mr. Phelan. Are there any numbers that would like removed? Seeing none, roll call. Daly.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Members Blair? Aye. Member Coates?
Aye.
Member Daly?
Aye.
Member Duncan?
Aye.
Member Elsasser? Member Groves Allison?
Aye.
Member Hare? Member Kelch? Member Phelan?
Aye.
Member Renault? Member Ricker? Member Rosenbaum? Member Rulin? Member Salzer? Member Williams? Member Windisch? And Member Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Zoning ordinances and resolutions. Number 1 is case ZBA 2023-0051, petition of Charles Austin Bennett and Madeline Michelle Bennett, a special use as required in section 20-6.2.1.1.b of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for a special use when a proposed land split does not meet the 40-acre minimum lot size in the A1 Agricultural Preservation Zoning District. The petitioner proposes to divide 5 acres from an existing 66.04 acre tract. The parcel is located in Kickapoo Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with restrictions. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Member Rosenbaum, Member Duncan. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Member Blair? Aye. Member Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Alsasser? Aye. Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Member Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Case number 2, ZBA 2023-0045. Petition of Blaine Kosek as manager of BLNZ LLC, a special use as required in section 20-5.5.2.2.c of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for an overnight accommodations provided that they meet requirements set forth in section 7.8 and provided that no more than 5 rooms or suites of rooms are rented, and rooms are not rented for a period of more than 14 days. The petitioner proposes to provide overnight accommodations on a short-term rental basis in the R2 medium-density residential zoning district. The parcel is located in Medina Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval with restriction. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Member Rosenbaum, Member Daly. Questions? Seeing none, roll call.
This does not want to act right today. Member Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Alsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Case number 3, ZBA 2023-0050. Petition of Lucas Arnold, a special use as required in section 20-5.2.2.1.a.1 of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for a special use when a proposed land split does not meet the 25-acre minimum lot size, nor the 1 dwelling unit per 25 contiguous acres density requirement in A2 Agricultural District. The petitioner proposes to divide 7.5 acres from an existing 35.612 acre tract. The parcel is located in Hollis Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval with restrictions. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Member Rosenbaum, Member Daly. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly,
Aye.
Duncan,
Aye.
Elsasser, Groves Allison,
Aye.
Hare, Kelch, Phelan,
Aye.
Rulin. I'm sorry, Renault. I was looking at it, I just said the wrong name. Ricker, Rosenbaum, Rulin, Salzer,
Aye.
Williams, Windisch, and Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Case number 4 is ZBA 2023-0054, petition of Asaf Hussein, a rezoning request from A1 agricultural preservation to A2 agriculture. The petitioner proposes to rezone 4.14 acres in order to provide overnight accommodations on a short-term rental basis. The parcel is located in Brimfield Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Member Rosenbaum. Member Duncan. Any questions? Member Rosenbaum.
Number 4 and number 5 is the same property. Because it's in the A1, they need to make it A2 on this one, so we can vote on the next one where they want to make an Airbnb on it. This property isn't taking any farm ground out of production at all, and so it won't be changing anything to landscape out in that area. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Member Alsasser.
Paul, what were the two objections regarding?
They objected on the changing it from A1 to A2, but they didn't object it to be an Airbnb. So other than that, when they did the second one, it went through, so there's no objection on it. So I'm not sure if they thought that it would, it's got like 4 acres of pasture, so they wanted to make sure that that was kept mowed up, I think, and not left grown wild, I think.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Case number 5. ZBA 2023-0055, petition of Asaf Hussein, a special use request as required in section 20-5.2.2.2.f of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for an overnight accommodations provided that they meet the requirements set forth in section 7.8 and provided that no more than 5 rooms or suites of rooms are rented, and rooms are not rented for more than 14 days. The petitioner proposes to provide overnight accommodations on a short-term rental basis in the A2 Agricultural Zoning District. The parcel is located in Brimfield Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval. The Land Use Committee concurs.
Member Rosenbaum. Member Daly. Questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Item 6 is a recommendation from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Affairs Committee approving the adoption of the revised annual tax levy, all funds.
Member Williams, there's a second. Member Blair. This one does have a presentation by Scott and staff. Or Heather, sorry.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to address the board tonight. Hopefully this works for me. As you know, the strategic plan of the board was passed in August, I believe, of this year, and one of the strategic initiatives, number 18 to be specific, is to actively monitor refinancing opportunities for Huntington Oaks debt repayment. So Member Williams gave us a charge to come up with a plan to address this, and this is what our presentation is tonight. So just a high overview, the Series 2022 General Obligation Refunding Bonds for the former Huntington Oaks facility are callable in December of 2032. The principal balance at that point in time should be $11,075,000. Or 11 million, yes, 11,075,000, and the current average interest rate on these bonds is 5%. Currently, to repay those bonds, we have principal and debt payments annually that we pay, and we cannot pay it off early. It is not like a home mortgage where you can make advance payments and pay it down, unfortunately. So we're coming up with a solution to accomplish it kind of in that way. So the special revenue tax that the county levies is a full 6 pennies per $100 EAV, and this is levied annually. The revenue expected in fiscal 24 is about $2.3 million, and the debt payments in that year are about $1.6 million. The operating expenses in this account going forward should be around $75,000 a year, and that is mainly for an agreement we have with the Center for Prevention of Abuse in long-term care services, related services. So any surplus from the tax revenue that comes in, less the expenses and the debt payments, gives us a surplus that will go to the fund balance in the reserves. The current fund balance is negative $3.9 million as of the end of August. And so we want to pay that, get that fund balance into the positive, and this is our strategy and how to do that. When Member Williams gave us this charge, we thought there are basically 4 different options that the board could take. We can continue the current bond payment schedule as it is and don't refund and pay it off in 2041 when it's currently due at the 5% interest rate. Option 2, we could pay down the outstanding principal by the balance accumulated in the Long-Term Care Services Fund in December of 2032, which would leave about $8.2 million at that point in time that we could refund. We could pay down a larger balance on principal and refund for a shorter time frame, or we could pay off the principal and the bonds in full at that time. Obviously, this is a decision that the board at that point in time will have to make, but the decisions that this board makes can help set them up for success for your initiatives. So we came up with a several step plan. The quickest thing to do right now is to transfer the remaining budget surplus that was not spent from the referendum eliminated auditor's office in 2023. It's about $30,000. So we'll transfer that to the Long-Term Care Services Fund. And then again in fiscal 24, the $94,200 that was budgeted for that office can be transferred to the Long-Term Care Services Fund. The next one is to adopt a policy for an annual transfer of 50% of the fiscal year surplus of the general fund to the Long-Term Care Services Fund until there are sufficient reserves to pay off the $11 million principal balance. If there's a fiscal year where we do not have a surplus, no transfer is required. And that also means you don't have to transfer it back to the general fund. And then the policy will sunset once that threshold is met. So once that $11 million is met, then the general fund doesn't have to be transferred. And then the next step is related to the resolution at hand, and that's to amend the tax levy, the fiscal 23 tax levy that's payable in 24, to shift 4.5 pennies from IMRF, FICA, and the risk fund to the general fund. Currently, the general fund is levied at 20.5 pennies, and the maximum that we can do is 25. So this would bring the general fund up to the 25 maximum. It would reduce the IMRF fund by 1.1 pennies, FICA by 1 penny, and risk by 2.4 pennies. We selected these funds because they have a surplus, a very healthy surplus in the, or a healthy balance in the reserves. So this addresses another issue that has been, I guess, initiative of the board to look at fund balances that have a high reserve right now and determine ways that we can spend those down over time. So this is a way to not increase the taxes on our community and manage the funds responsibly. We did a cash flow projection out several years, and by doing this, it does not drop below the balanced reserve policy of 8% in IMRF and FICA. And there's about a 2-month period where, due to timing of when the property taxes come in, that it goes below kind of my comfort level of 24%, but it never dips below the 8%. And then it goes back up when the property tax is collected. So with this strategy, at the incrementally over the year in 2024, we will transfer, it's equivalent to $1.7 million from the general fund to the long-term care services fund, and that will help erode that negative fund balance. And then over time, we will recommend again to do this in fiscal 25. It'll be a different makeup of the 3 funds, but we can address that when we come to the fiscal 25 budget. And then over time, that fund will build up, and we'll be able to use the interest that is earned on that fund over the years. I will work with the treasurer's office. She's very good at investing, and we'll make sure that we put these funds in the highest interest earning that we can. So this 2-year cash infusion will more quickly eliminate the negative fund balance and allow interest to begin being earned. And then on a regular basis, we will report back to the board, probably monthly. We already do reports monthly to the board, so we'll just include this to update them. In the committee meeting, Member Rose Allison asked if we can kind of commemorate this in some way so that we can make sure that future board members know the intention, and so we will do that in several different ways to make sure that everyone is kind of understands the intent of this board. So this strategy requires the 3 resolutions. 2 of these were in the consent agenda, and then the one before you, the tax levy ordinance revision. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Questions for Heather? Member Ricker.
I have a question, more of a thank you for Member Williams to take this initiative, and several of the board members who have worked closely with her, and Heather's work along with the treasurer's work to put this together. So thank you on behalf of the board.
Member Williams.
I just want to say thank you to Heather and her team. Scott, I mean, I really, I kind of put the pressure on him and said we need to come up with a solution on this. We want to get these bonds paid off as soon as we possibly can, and they took it and ran with it. So I am so pleased that this plan is coming before us, and I appreciate all their work.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Members Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsesser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Item number 7 is a resolution from your County Operations Committee recommending approval of Plan Amendment Number 2 to the Peoria County Employee Health Plan to comply with Public Act 102-117.
Member Blair, Member Renault. Comments? Member Allison?
I just wanted to note that this is not about the ethical or moral thoughts, points, ideas, any of that. This is about the hard work and research that has been done by our legal counsel and those we've contracted with for expertise on the healthcare system, helping us to ensure that we're not putting the taxpayers at risk for potential litigation in the future. So I ask that everybody keep that in mind as we move forward, that this is about the recommendation from our legal counsel.
Thank you, Member Allison. Other comments? You're the hand's only one up, Member Elsesser.
Well, first of all, ever since I've been on the board, we've asked the state legislature to stop giving us mandates that are unfunded. And so here we have another one, and you know, I just feel sorry for some of our county employees that, you know, aren't making six figures or even high five figures because they're already struggling to pay for their health premiums, and this will just, you know, add even more expense, you know, to the plan, and then perhaps down the road even raise their premiums more. Furthermore, I feel like it just opens up a can of worms because, you know, everybody's going to want something that's similar to this in the sense that if you're paying for an abortion, what if you have a female employee that's 35 years old and has never been able to become pregnant with a child, say, okay, I want in vitro fertilization. So I know it's not part of our plan, and I don't support that or what we're voting on tonight as far as, you know, funding from the county, but, you know, that would be almost like discrimination against a woman in that regard. And then someone else before the meeting asked if this pays for breast implants for men. Well, I mean, what about our women? What if a woman wanted a breast implant who's one of our employees? And so I just feel like this opens up a can of worms that, and I don't support, you know, any of those things that I just mentioned as far as funding them, but I'm just concerned this is going to take us down a slippery slope.
Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair? Aye. Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsesser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Member Kelch? Didn't see that I missed him. Thank you. 11 ayes, 6 nays. Item number 8, a resolution from your Infrastructure Committee recommending approval of the sole bid of PIPCO Companies, LTD, Peoria, Illinois, for the replacement of sprinkler heads at the Juvenile Detention Center in the amount not to exceed $112,960.
Member Salzer, Member Rulon.
Mr. Chairman, our special meeting dealt with this a little bit tonight under discussion, and I'm going to ask our county administrator to give an explanation better than what I would do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you is a resolution recommending bid award to PIPCO companies here in Peoria to install tamper-proof sprinklers at the Juvenile Detention Center. You'll note in the write-up that in the last 18 months or so, we've had 6 incidents where a sprinkler head was broken off by a juvenile detainee at the facility. And also within the agenda briefing, what the remediation costs, including overtime of Peoria County team members, to be, for all 6 incidents, just short of $9,000. And those are costs that the Juvenile Detention Center are readily aware of. There's another couple $100 of costs that are from the risk fund that still keep the grand total cost incurred to less than $10,000. The committee discussed originally why we were looking at such a order of magnitude cost for something that's had a remediation cost that is so low, with that bid being $93,600 plus some dollars for contingencies just in case. What we were unable to answer at the first committee meeting 2 weeks ago, but what we were able to answer earlier this evening, and if there's any further clarification needed, Brian Brown, the Director of Court and Probation Services, is in the audience and would be more than happy to come to the staff table to answer any of those technical questions that the board members might have. But what we did learn, and that we were unable to answer 2 weeks ago, were while there is minimal operational expense as shown in the agenda briefing, there actually is operational impact from a regulatory perspective. So when a sprinkler head is broken by a juvenile that's in detention, that means that the fire suppression system goes offline. It does have to be repaired, which means it has to be drained, or at least that sprinkler head has to be isolated and a portion of the system drained. It also means in the winter, the heat is disabled. In the summer, the air conditioning is disabled. And the Juvenile Detention Center operates under a set of regulations that are defined by the Administrative Office of the Illinois Courts and the Department of Juvenile Justice for the state of Illinois. And they have parameters on when things like HVAC systems and fire suppression systems can be offline and for how long before it becomes a regulatory issue. That was new information that was found out. The committee also questioned the source of funds that were going to be used to pay for this project. As was passed out of committee, the proposed source of funds was going to be the capital project fund. There is adequate dollars in that fund, in that bucket of money to pay for this project, but there was concern that there were maybe other capital improvements in the queue that this project leapfrogged and would not be able to then have those be done. Taking that concern, we were able to engage in a dialogue with the courts. I met personally with the Chief Judge. Mark and Calvin met with Brian Brown and Ryan Breedlove, Ryan being the superintendent of the Juvenile Detention Center, and we identified that there is sufficient dollars in the current operating budget of the Juvenile Detention Center in fiscal year 23 to cover this expense. So no budget amendment is needed. The revised documents that are before you in the packet represent the funding source coming from the Juvenile Detention Center budget and not the capital project fund budget. It also reflects the fact that what passed out of committee, there was a typographic error and a math error in the totals. What passed out of committee is $10,000 more than the actual cost. So what's in the packet before you right now is $10,000 less than as approved by committee and what the resolution states. Again, no budget amendment is necessary because there's such sufficient funds available, and I think based on the feedback that we heard at Mr. Salzer's committee meeting earlier this evening, it's my understanding all the questions have been answered. We'll obviously leave that to the committee members to opine on that if they so choose. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions, or if there's any operational questions about how the JDC works, Mr. Brown is here as well.
Questions? Member Rosenbaum.
Scott, you mentioned that the ones that we would be, if the vote goes through, that they would be tamper-proof. Is that guaranteed by PIPCO that they're tamper-proof? That if these young kids can figure out how to get it going, or they're going to come in and fix it for free? I mean, I don't have a problem fixing it, but you said it was tamper-proof.
Right. So great question, Mr. Rosenbaum. They are tamper-proof. They are specifically designed for detention facilities. So I have a high confidence level that we've been that the correct spec has been used, and that this will alleviate the current challenge that the Juvenile Detention Center has with juveniles breaking off sprinkler heads.
Other comments? Thank you to Terry for bringing up some good points at committee, and thank you for staff for going back, and thanks for Brian and his team and Ryan for listening and being able to explain it. And I think we got a good final product out of it. So with that, roll call.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Coates? Aye. Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Item number 9 is a resolution from your County Operations Committee recommending approval of paid leave for non-union part-time temporary employees to comply with the Paid Leave for All Workers Act.
Member Ricker? Member Elsasser? Any questions? Member Ricker?
Since this came through committee right before this meeting, I would like to ask Shauna if she'd just give a very high-level overview. The HR team's done a great job of taking this state change to provide paid leave for all workers. I think it's a great program, and so the HR team has worked through it to make sure we comply and offer it appropriately to our employees. But I'd like to have Shauna just walk through it at a high level. Thank you.
Thank you. Shauna?
Gosh, you're trying to get me to start sitting on this side of the room. Just kidding. That's right. As stated in the agenda briefing, Governor Pritzker signed into law the Paid Leave for All Workers Act. Thanks to the committee for your diligence as we brought forward multiple options. And then once the rules were released, we had to go back and kind of revisit those. But what we have before you tonight is what we believe puts Peoria County in compliance with the law. So we reviewed our current leave policies for both union and non-union employees. It is our recommendation that and our belief that the paid leave balances that are currently afforded to full-time employees already meet the intent of the law, and therefore we only need to adjust our part-time leave banks. So currently part-time employees for the most part do not earn paid leave. So what this does under the act is we've created a new policy that states that all part-time, temporary, and seasonal employees will start accruing 1 hour for every 40 hours worked, and then they will be able to use that time as well. And they will, it's again, since it's 1 hour for every 40 hours worked, it will be use it or lose it by the end of the year, and those banks will not roll over. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Member Renault.
Will the state be supplying any funds for this mandate?
I'm sorry?
Will the state be supplying any funds to fund this mandate?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Coates? Aye. Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan?
Aye.
Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Item number 10, a resolution from your Infrastructure Committee recommending approval of quotations for Peoria highway maintenance materials to be purchased during 2024 on an as-needed basis.
So move.
Member Salzer and Member Couch.
Mr. Chairman, these are the annual figures that our director of the Highway Department, Amy McLaren, has submitted to our committee. We feel it is fair, and we know that in the past she has been very good at taking the next best bid if somebody is not able to fulfill their obligation to us, and we trust Amy to handle this situation.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Coates? Aye. Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Aye. Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes. Next, we would be at miscellaneous and announcements.
So we'll start on this side of the room and work our way around.
Well, first of all, the food was totally amazing, and thanks so much to everybody that made it. I appreciate it. It's the main reason I stayed on the board another year, was because of this dinner party.
You're not taking Linda's bowl this year, are you?
Actually, it wasn't. I brought it back, and it wasn't the right one. But so we don't know what happened to it.
It wasn't the right one. Someone here still has.
I did not take it because my wife does not cook very
This would
often.
make a good mystery TV show, right? And I wish everybody a blessed and a Merry Christmas. And also, when someone sees Karen tomorrow, please thank her for all the work she's done with the Red Cross, because I know my family personally with our son when he was still here. He benefited a lot from people who donated blood, and I've been fortunate that I've given many, many gallons over the years, and I would encourage everyone else to do the same if you haven't before. And I know it's a little bit scary the first time, but and another little helpful hint would be this, and that is that I've had trouble with my hemoglobin level for the first time in my whole life, just in the last time or two, and so just take some iron pills for about 2 weeks before you go in, and you should be okay.
Member Salzer.
Brian, the three things that you just commented on, I totally agree with you. Thank you very much.
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Williams?
Same thing. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. This is the time of year that I start thinking about all the blessings I have in my life. And I want to say getting to know all of you has been one of them.
Member Renault.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody about the topping out ceremony on Monday at the health campus. They'll be installing the highest piece of steel, which is exciting to see the progress. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but it actually can see the outline of the building now. It's pretty cool. And Gretchen has done a great job at organizing this, and also tomorrow is Gretchen's 40th birthday, so happy birthday to Gretchen.
Nothing? Matt? Jennifer?
I'll ditto what Member Elsasser said. If you can donate blood, one donation can save up to 3 lives, so it's something you can do around the holidays to give back.
Member Blair?
First, if you celebrate any kind of holiday near winter solstice, happy holidays for all of you. On that, I did want to mention that starting in early January, we'll be taking applications for the Smart Start grant. So I hope people are ready for that. And then think of those of us who are alone for Christmas and, invite them over.
Just Merry Christmas. That's it.
I just want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Just want to say happy holidays, happy upcoming Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, and again, as Eden said, to all of those holidays that we are celebrating, and Happy New Year.
I want to echo Chairman Dillon's comments. I have hired private security to check Brian Elsasser out when he leaves tonight so he doesn't take her bowl again. I've heard about it for 1 year. 1 year.
I have just a couple things. Number one, on the sprinkler, tamper-proof sprinklers at the JDC, I want to say thank you to Chairman Dillon and Administrator Sorrell for their open-mindedness and quick action in making the changes. And the others in the room who counseled me as a fairly new board member was very helpful, and I thank you guys for that. You know who you are. And as far as the beam signing topping out ceremony, that is at 11 on Monday. We have a campus meeting tomorrow at 10:30. If you can't make it Monday, I think it'd still be awful nice to have your signature on that beam. So come out tomorrow morning, ask for Bo. He'll point you in the right direction. Make sure you get your signature on it, even if you don't see it go up. And if that doesn't work for you, try Monday before the 11 o'clock. Once it goes up in the air, we're probably not going to get you up there to sign it. So try to get there if you can. I think it would be great if everybody on this board signed that beam. And Merry Christmas.
Scott? Rachel? Just a couple thank yous here. Thank you to Rachel and her team for a wonderful holiday luncheon up here. The food that they had was amazing, well attended. They did the chicken in shifts, and it was actually not dried out, and it was fantastic. But everybody in the courthouse was commenting how great it was and how good the chicken was and everything. And I know that wasn't easy. So thank you. We're not quite at 1 year anniversary, but a big thank you to this board and showing some faith in me and Sharon and all the chairs. I know I've asked a lot of everybody in their different committees. To the 5 new board members, we could not have asked for a better group to come on here. And for the members that 5 years and younger, you've been amazing. And then it's just a great team all around. And it's been about a year since this board's changed. And I think there's some good unity among this board, and everybody rolls up their sleeves and goes to work. So thank you, and looking forward to what this next year will bring to us. With that, anything else? Legal counsel? Nothing? Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Meeting adjourned.